Hi guys, Craig Lockard. I'm back. The recruiter is back. All right, so here's some information. Here's some stuff that's probably going to be a little controversial. Okay, let me set it up by this. When a dealership calls us looking for people, regardless of the position they're looking for, because we handle all of them, or we make an outgoing call, or whatever the case might be, we talk to a dealership or manager that needs help with staffing. Typically, there's been some pain involved there. They've tried something and they failed. That's why they're calling us. So we'll be on the phone with them, and it's like, so, okay, great. And so how many people do you think you need, Mr. Dealer? 3. Great. How'd you arrive at 3? I mean, how'd you come up with the figure of you need 3 floor salespeople or BDC or whatever? Oh, that's the number of desks you have available. That's the number of desks you have available? What if you only had 1 desk available? What if you had 50? Okay, or how about this one? This is a guy, I love this one. Hey, Mr. Dealer. Yeah, so thanks for calling so much. Great. And listen, so you understand the programs, and you've picked the Platinum program. Let me ask you something. How many people is it that you actually need? Committed, well-trained salespeople, no bad habits on your showroom floor. 3? Right. And how'd you come up with the figure 3? Oh, that's what you normally run with. That's what you normally run with. Okay. If that's what you normally run with, I'm not quite sure what that means. I mean, I know what it means because I've probably said the same thing. But by getting to a number based on what you normally run with, where's that going to put you? Where you normally were? Right? Well, no, Craig, these people are going to be better, so we'll have an uptick in business. Well, okay. That may or may not be true. But to make decisions based on, and I'm going to go over all these things, and some of you people are going to be, this is going to take a minute for you guys to get your mind around this, because I know you make decisions on a lot of different things, different ways. But I want to talk about an economic law here with you. Okay, you can't hire based on the number of desks you have. You can't make those decisions based on what you'd normally run with. In my opinion, you can't make hiring decisions, whether it be salespeople, technicians, service advisors, people with BDRs in your BDC, internet salespeople, if you have a separate internet department, any of that, even based on traffic count. Because first of all, I don't believe the traffic count. I don't believe the CRM. I see it all the time. You can look in automotive forum after automotive forum, and it's always, you know, the old car dogs, and they're not logging their ups, and this and that. Who's logging the ups? Right? Unless I'm the dealer principal, or unless I have greeters or spotters, and they are literally logging every single person, every single phone call into that CRM, I don't believe the traffic count. I just can't. It's not going to be 100%. Well, Craig, yeah, but what if it's 90%? Well, then you're off. You could be losing 10% of your business. All right? So here's what I want to do, and we're going to throw up a graph here, and it's going to be right here, and it's going to talk about the law of diminishing return. Take a few minutes, Google it. I'm going to give you some examples, but it's real simple. The law of diminishing returns in terms of employees, let me put forward to you this way, that as you input, it will raise your output initially. That's the first stage of the law of diminishing return. The second stage is that your input, the number of people that you hire, will equal the output. And I'll give you an illustration in a minute. The third stage of the law of diminishing return is that as you input people, your output starts to decrease. It goes down. Let me give you an example. Let's say you got a piece of property, a piece of land. And on that piece of land, you're going to plant apple trees. And you hire a young kid, so you have a specific piece of land that belongs to you. No more, no less. You hire a kid, comes in, first day, That's the input. He plants 2 apple trees. That's the output. Now, yesterday you had none, so your output went up. Now, the next day he comes to work, and he's still planting those apple trees, and he brings a friend with him. He's, my friend needs a job, and he'd like to, I think he'd be pretty good at planting apple trees. Okay, well, let's give him a shot. So now you got 2 kids planting apple trees, and the second kid plants 2 as well. So now you got 2 kids, both planting 2 apple trees, so now you got 4 apple trees a day. So your input is increasing your output. You're still in stage 1. Let's say the next day they bring in another friend of theirs. You hire them, same thing. He also, or she also plants 2 apple trees. So now you got 3 people, each planting 3, 6 a day, and you're a happy camper, right? So your input is increasing your output. You're getting 6 apple trees a day. Things are awesome. Things are going well. So now you plug in another one, a 4th, right? And you got 1 person planting 2, 1 person planting 2, 1 person planting 2. The 4th person's only planting 1. So your input is kind of equal to your output. All right? Now, let's say they bring another one. Now, here's where the problem begins. This is what we'd call, in the old days, flooding the floor, so to speak. But I got a solution for that. Here's what's going to happen. They bring in another kid. Now you're running into, you don't have room, right? Because you only have this amount of land. Who gets the better seeds? Morale starts to go sideways, and the guys and girls that were that were planting 2 apple trees might not be planting any, or they're only planting 1. So your input is decreasing your output, and that's a bad thing. That's when business starts to go bad. This is an economic law. All right, Craig, well, what are you saying here? Do you want me to flood your floor? No, I don't want you to flood your floor. I want you to touch stage 3. I want you to stage 3. Well, okay, Craig, then what do? I want my business to build. I want to destroy my competition, right? I'm a competitive person, but I'm not real big on competitors. So let's eliminate them, all right? So how am I going to do that? I still got this only 1 piece of property. Think of it this way. What do we always hear in the car business? What's the number 1 complaint inside the car business? Almost every single person complains about this. It's the reason that we lack diversity in our dealerships in terms of females, perhaps, and we got burnout, and we got younger people leaving because of the hours, right? All right. So what about this? What about we extend the hours? Now, we can't build more property, right? We still have that piece of property. Right? But why don't we extend the number of hours that they plant apples? We put on a second shift. We can extend the hours of our selling operation and decrease the hours of our workers, keeping their morale high and their output even or even stronger. Well, yeah, but Craig, who's going to supervise them? Well, you're going to need management. Oh, no, there you go. You vendors, man, you guys are great at spending our money. Well, no, that's not the it. Now, I bet you that every single one of you out there has a person or persons in your dealership right now with so-called manageritis. They want to be a manager. They're ready to be a manager. They have the qualifications. They have the passion. They have the smarts. They're going to end up being a manager. And if you don't give them a shot, and if you don't promote them from within, they're going down the street. And that could hurt you, because they're going to take probably some people with them, and you just don't want to lose an employee. You're going to lose business. So why don't we do this? Why don't we decrease their floor hours, put on a second shift, let's put them in the teams, then we can build up that law of diminishing returns, just touching shy of that 3rd stage again. Should you spend a little more on promotions? Maybe, if you want to really turn up the heat, but you got to have the right people in place first. People then the process, you have the product, and then you promote. But you gotta have those people. Please look into the law of diminishing return. Let's look at a different way to make a decision on whether to bring more people in, and more specifically, how many. Because you can do the same thing, the same math, the same law works in service in terms of tax, service advisors, people in your parts department, body shop, whatever, in your general office. I mean, your title clerk, do you have your title clerk doing titles, receivables, payables, and filling in on the phones, answering the phone? That's stage 3. That person's leaving. So let's use the law of diminishing return to start making economic decisions that are going to affect the bottom line to your dealership. End up maybe buying yourself a bigger boat. So let's look at it that way. Let's not go to filling a number of desks or running what we always ran with, or trying to do it by some equation of, how many people that they can effectively take care of, and because I don't believe the counts. So unless your count is 100% perfect, 100% perfect, and then even then, you can still make a mistake. Let's go by the law of diminishing return. It's economic law. Why fight it? All right, so we're going to talk more about that and some other subjects as the recruiter continues. See you on the next one.